Back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back with you on this beautiful Monday evening/night, depending on wherever it is that you're joining us from. So anyways, it's a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on what part of the world it is that you connect from us with. At the interval, it's Fiorentina 1, Lazio 0, while it's goalless between Levante and Getafe. Meanwhile, Manchester United are 2-0 down at the interval, thanks to a brace by Noah Okafor, but Tanaka should have scored in that game to make it 3-0. But thanks to Lisandro Martinez, Manchester United still have a fighting chance going into the second half. Tanaka missed a golden opportunity, or more or less, you could say, Lisandro Martinez with the timely intervention shortly before halftime in that context. It's a bit of a surprise one for me, even though my prediction had been a 3-2 victory for Manchester United, or the very least a 2-1, which is no longer plausible. So it's 3-2 probably. I still stand by that prediction, but if I'm being honest, Manchester United have not done anything in that opening half to give us any semblance of a possibility of them walking away with, a maximum points tonight. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, you'll allow me have our audios tested and make sure everything does check out before we get into the in-depth of tonight's broadcast. For those of you that will be joining us, I wish to send my sincere vote of thanks to all of you that have managed to catch the morning broadcast. People like Mariam, people like Adash. Thank you so much, Adash, for joining us. Always a pleasure to see you around. It gives me great joy in knowing that you always spare the time to be part of different broadcasts. So you'll indulge me as I get to test our audios just to make sure everything checks out, so that we do not get caught on the wrong side of technology. Sometimes technology is that one thing that can disappoint you, even if you take it as a given that it will just work out. Perhaps in, I don't know, in ways that you expect it. So yeah, basically that's about it. Let's see. But I think we're good to go. Yeah, we are good to go. In as far as our audios are concerned. So yeah, halftime, Manchester United 0, 2 for Leeds. Those Manchester United fans were really, really displeased with the performance of their own side that they brought them at halftime. You could see Michael Carrick look on, not the kind of result or the kind of performance he would want, especially if a man that thinks that this job is his to lose at the moment, because he's done well, and I've not lost hope that Manchester United can mount a comeback. We've seen this script before, or at least it does feel that way, that they can bounce back even with that sort of 2-0 deficit at the moment. I was a bit surprised that Lisandro Martinez has been given the nod to start this game following I think a 2 months absence in the team. He last featured in United's 1-1 draw against West Ham back in February, and he's back. So, and straight away tossed into the deep end. It's not something you see very often, but I think it's one that was born out of necessity, given that Harry Maguire got himself matching orders against Bournemouth in their last league outing. So perhaps that is the rationale that you do get from Michael Adrian Carrick in choosing Lisandro Martinez to start. In terms of how both teams set up, here's the look of things. Okay, Adash says malaria is still a challenge for Kampala people. What's your thought on this? For Kampala people, not really, because mosquito nets have been distributed. So they are okay. Anyways, Manchester United do have Seny Lomans in goal. They had Nusa Mazorui, Lenny Yoro, Lisandro Martinez, and Luke Shaw, Casemiro, Manel Ugarte, starting ahead of Kobe Mainu, Amadou Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, Matas Cunha, and Benjamin Sesko. So that's the team that started. On the bench, United have Altai Baindia, Diego Dalot, Tyler Malacia, Aiden Heaven, Mason Mount, Tyler Fletcher, Joshua Zaxi, Brandon Belmo, and Shia Lassie. I do not know why Brandon Belmo was started on the bench. It's a bit questionable, but nonetheless, that forward line of Manchester United should still be good enough to, bury some chances. Amadou Diallo is one of those that had a good chance, but he put it wide of the mark in the first half. On the side of Leeds, they have Carlo Dallo in goal. They have Jack Bijol, James Justin, Pascal Strujic, Gabriel Goodmanson, Ao Tanaka. They have Ethan Ampadu, the Jaden Bogo. This one also missed a golden opportunity in that first half. You have Brandon Aronson, Noah Okafor, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's how Leeds United have set up. On the bench, they have Lucas Perry, they have Sebastian Beno, Sam Briam, they have Sean Longstaff, Facundo Benanote, Ilya Grave, Joel Piero, Lucas Mecha. They do have Wilfred Gitonto, something like that. Forgive the mispronunciation of the other name, but yeah, like I said, in the opening half, Manchester United were very, very poor. They only had 2 shots on target. Leeds were not clinical enough. They should have been 3-4-0 up by halftime, but they were not just clinical enough. They squandered so many opportunities than those they buried in the net. That's why they have had 5 shots on target, only 2 goals scored. They've had an XG of 1.96 compared to Manchester United's 0.19 thus far. They've had 2 shots off target, that's for Leeds, while United have had 4. United have dominated possession slightly to the tune of 55% compared to 45% of Leeds United. But I think in the latter stages of the game, it was almost one-way traffic. It was Leeds all the way. United tried to play out from the back. Seny Lomans gave a bit of a poor pass, trying to find Casemiro. The ball is intercepted by Tanaka, who dribbles Seny Lomans, and before he buries the ball into an empty net, Lisandro Martinez chipped in with quite the intervention to ensure that Manchester United kept their house in order, that they kept it at a bare 2-0. Otherwise, I would be having a very, very different conversation thus far, in as far as that fixture is concerned. It's a fixture that Manchester United have won more often than not. I think in 31 Premier League appearances, Manchester United have won it 17 times. There've been 10 draws. Then there've been 4 victories for Leeds United before tonight. So that tells you that United have the upper hand, but also not just based on historical context. They are on home ground. They are at Old Trafford in front of that 70,000 plus seater crowd of a gigantic stadium, where they instead of being cheered on by their own fans, they unfortunately got booed away by the very fans that should be supporting them, simply because they were disappointed by their performance in the opening. Simply because they were disappointed in their performance in the opening 45 minutes. Then there's been a couple of calls that have not gone Man United's way. For example, there's an alleged pull on Nusa Mazaraoui, but the linesman didn't call that for a foul. So, but again, that's a bit of a nitpicking. There was an elbow, I think, by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Again, the referee did not get the chance to call that action out. So, you feel that. In some way he would have done better, but I do not know. But Kobe Maino is upset, and they've clearly missed him in that midfield. They've gone with a double pivot, which is a very, very conservative pivot, in playing Manuel Ugarte alongside Casemiro. In fact, looking at that team sheet, if I were Michael Adrian Carrick, if I was to make some amends, I'd be withdrawing Manuel Ugarte for Mason Mount, and then or Brani Belmo, one of the two. I put them in the 10 and make the difficult decision to put Bruno Fernandes into the 8 role to help with a bit of more ball distribution. Otherwise, Manuel Ugarte has largely been a pedestrian in as far as the opening 45 minutes is concerned. So let's get back to the second half. In that game, we'll do the watch along for the remainder of the game and also get to discuss other news as we go on through tonight. Because at Newcastle, their bosses or the owners will be going to continue to support and back Ed Howe in his role as manager, and will assess they'll assess his status at the end of the season. It's a discussion that we've often had on this forum because we have a Newcastle fan who is recently become a regular on the channel in Raymond Kangumba. So he's a Newcastle fan. He's oftentimes reminded us of how they need to sack Ed Howe and opt for a more perhaps tactically astute manager, suggesting the likes of Francesco Farioli at FC Porto, Xabi Alonso, formerly at Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen, Enzo Maresca, formerly at Leicester City and Chelsea. He suggested some of those names. Which is the other name? I think. Adi Huta is one of those names that is also mentioned. He's talked about Mauricio Pochettino. So those are some of the options that is sort of considered in that period. But yeah, we are back. Second half is underway. First of all, if you're Leeds, you want to avoid conceding anything whatsoever in the opening 15 minutes of the second half. And then from there, but also do not stop taking the ball or the game towards Manchester United, because the moment you decide to be comfortable with your lead and sit back, then you're going to get punished. You cause yourself problems. So you would want to avoid that at all costs in as far as this tie is concerned. Okay. So that's what you'd want to avoid. Okay. In the other news also, we know for a fact that according to Florian Plettenberg of Sky Germany, he does report that Bayern Munich are interested in the services of a Newcastle, a right winger, Antony Gordon. Left winger, sorry, Antony Gordon. He's one of those players that I, for one, I'm yet to be convinced. James Justin with the goal line clearance. Benjamin Sesko had gone through, powered himself through that Leeds backline. Beautiful interplay. Oh, that's brilliant. A goal line clearance for Leeds United. This is exactly what I was saying. They need to avoid conceding in the opening 15 minutes of the game. Otherwise, it will turn out to be a very, very long night for them, as a poor clearance. Ball is scampered in the box, and then Leeds get away. Oh, beautiful interplay. Come on, pass that ball. Look Shaw with the tactical foul. Otherwise, Leeds had gone through on the quick counter. This one delayed to pass the ball. Gabriel Goodmanson. Oh, sorry. Not Gabriel Goodmanson. It was Jaden Bogo, who was brought down by Luke Shaw. He wanted to rest through. Should have passed that ball a little earlier than, but taking that extra touch. And he did the same thing in the first half. He gets past the ball at the back post, and instead of striking it first time, he decides, I'm going to take an extra touch, which was very, very unnecessary, which then put it out of his own stride in a way. And by the time he strikes it, he miscues it. It falls to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who attempts a backflip. He's not sure where the ball is gone, and yet it's just right behind him, and they just missed that opportunity. So that's how it felt like. That's how it felt like. The one thing that Leeds also ought to be very careful about is that Senny Lomans is good with that long pass. He plays the long pass. The ball is headed back into the midfielders by a towering Benjamin Sesko or sideways to one of the wingers, and then United carry on. So they ought to be careful how they approach that tactic. Beautiful interplay for Man United. So it's still 2-0. Okay. Yes, like I was telling you, according to Florian Plettenberg of Sky German, he says FC Bayern Munich are seriously considering making a move for Antony Gordon. The 25-year-old is currently the preferred candidate for the left wing as a backup and competitor for Luis Diaz. Remember, last summer they signed Luis Diaz for 75 million euros from Liverpool, and quite what a revelation of a player he's been. I think about 15 goals in the German Bundesliga with about 11 assists or so, giving him a 26 goal involvement already. So he's been quite an immaculate signing for Bayern Munich, who recently are continuously looking into the Premier League to scout, some really, really good talent. They scooped 2 seasons ago. They scooped Michael Olise, and he's been quite exceptional for Bayern Munich. This season already has about 18 assists in the German Bundesliga with about 11 goals. So he's been quite an exceptional talent. Then they scooped Harry Kane from Tottenham Hotspur for about 100 million euros. That's 3 seasons ago, and yeah, he's turned out to be a very, very perfect signing. Then not too far back, I think it had been for about a season and a half, I think they scooped Eric Dyer from Tottenham Hotspur. He did fairly well. So recently, Bayern Munich are really, really scooping up talent from the Premier League, and it's really, really working out. So for those of you that could be wondering whether Antony Gordon will be a success at Bayern Munich, do have that in context or in mind of what they have already been able to achieve with those signings. So Gordon has been informed concrete talks have already taken place, though the clubs are not yet in contact. That means that it's via intermediaries. Newcastle want to keep him, but we know for a fact that teams like Liverpool and Arsenal are the others that will rival Bayern Munich for his signature. They are the other 2 clubs that really, really appreciate his services. That's the left winger, Antony Gordon. This comes in a wake of we know for a fact that last summer, Bayern Munich were interested in signing or in tempting PSG on their resolve to keep Bradley Barcola. Liverpool equally were reported to be interested. Arsenal also been mentioned in the similar breadth, but PSG said the player is not for sale. In fact, they will be indulging the boy for the 23-year-old French international for contract renewal talks and things like that. So, that will be happening. So, then also, this was a bit of unfortunate news regarding Christian Romero of Tottenham Hotspurs. His season is as good as done because he's sort of torn a part of his cruciate ligament. So he sustained that injury during their 1-0 loss to Sunderland over the weekend. So he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Will he be a huge miss? Maybe yes or no for me. First of all, he's card prone. Did Lisandro Martinez pull Dominic Calvert-Lewin's hair? This will be the second consecutive game that Manchester United get a red card. I need to see this. Oh, he appears to pull his hair. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has a bit of a ponytail, and this is a similar incident that we saw in Arsenal's 1-0 defeat. That's the women's side in the UEFA Champions League against Chelsea in that reverse fixture that they lost by a goal to nil. You know, the referee it's a red card. Lisandro Martinez has been given marching orders. It's believed to be violent conduct. He can hardly believe that. Michael Carrick can barely believe his eyes. Lisandro Martinez tries to plead his innocence. By the way, guys, you just cannot do that. You just cannot do that. I don't remember what match it was exactly. I remember Matteo Guendouzi when he was still at Arsenal. Somebody pulled his hair. He looks on like what's happened is too strange to him. But he's just let himself down. He's let his teammates down. It was a bit of a slight pull, but nonetheless a pull. Oh, come on. Is it harsh? I mean, I've always... The thing about how much contact is sufficient is always subjective. You feel, yes, it is a pull on his hair. That's violent conduct. It's not too strong a pull, but because it's the hair, you can hardly defend it. You can hardly defend it. And now Manchester United, who are already 2-0 down, have to play the remainder of this game with a madness. Oh. So, Man United must find a way to try and win this game with a manless. It was already a very difficult game, and it does appear to become even more difficult. It does even appear to become more difficult. The referee, Paul Tierney, how are VAR able to see that incident? Because it felt that light a pull that Lisandro Martinez could have easily gone away with it. Oh. He must know. He must know he should have done better. He just let his teammates down. It's very effective what they do. Seny Lomans is a good passer of that long ball into Benjamin Sesko, who heads it back to the nearest player that there is. Now, Manchester United need to retreat themselves into a back three of Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw, and Nusa Mazeroui. Let's wait and see if Manchester United will be making some changes. However, if I were Michael Carrick, I wouldn't make the change to introduce a defender. I'll leave that team as is. Maybe first of all, simply play with the back three. Let the wingers become the fullbacks, doing the defensive duties. Oh, Ugarte had lost it, but then did well to recover. James Justin trying to go from distance, but very unsuccessful with his attempt, but he does get a corner. So, like I was telling you, Christian Romero, his season may be as good as done. He did suffer that bad injury, and according to reports, he could be out for about 8 weeks. Therefore, his World Cup seems to be in jeopardy or in doubt. So, that is really, really happening. That is really, really happening. Meanwhile, Carlos Quiros has been appointed as the new Black Stars manager ahead of the World Cup, or head coach for the Ghanaian national team. For those of you that remember him, he was an assistant to Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. So, I will be talking a little more about Carlos Quiros. We are 72 minutes into action. Sorry, 62. There's no defending that. Oof. Meanwhile, we are also getting reports that Hansi Flick has complained to UEFA about the condition of the grass at the Wanda Metropolitano or the Riyadh Air Stadium. I do not know what the issue is with the grass. I don't know if it is overgrown. How was that a foul? Amadou Diallo, being very unlucky, thought won the contest. Sorry, the contest really clean. Bruno Fernandes gets himself booked by the referee for dissent. Matas Cunha dared Calodalo, but he was right up to the challenge. to keep that one out. But my hopes that United could win this one by 3-2 continue to fizzle at the moment. For as long as United remain without a goal, my hopes for them fizzle out. As close. Leeds are missing chances. Jaden Mbogo Benjamin Sesko missed a header. How you miss a chance of a header where your eyes are allocated? How about your legs? It's now a very open-ended game. It's end-to-end kind of football. Leeds are going for it. Leeds need to win this game. They have the numerical advantage. They cannot squander it away because Tottenham will be lacking behind. Remember, they're still far from safety in terms of points. They will have only 33 points. That's 3 points above Tottenham Hotspur, who occupy 18th place on the Premier League table. Hi, Xerox. You remember me? I do remember you, Xerox. How are you doing? It's been a while. How have you been? Are you okay? I hope everything is well with you. I've not seen you in what? Close on to 2 weeks? I stand to be corrected, but around that time. 2 weeks or so. You've been AWOL. How are you? Man United, they haven't looked that bad ever since going a man down, to be honest. Yeah, my account got banned because I'm too young, but I'm very fine because you're too young. How old are you, Xerox? How old are you that you got your account banned? Apologies if it's offensive to ask of your age, but when you say your account got banned because you're young, it makes me wonder. I don't think I can tell. That's all right. That's all right. I have no problem with that. Apologies in case you felt offended when I asked that. But usually, I don't remember the terms and conditions for YouTube. But you say under 11 and over 9. That means you're 10 or 9.5. Manchester United looking to make a double substitution. Brian Mbeumo, one of those going to be introduced, as well as Diego Dalot. You know, so it's a goal. Manchester United are back in it. Casemiro with a goal. It's 2-1. Now it's game on. Watch United fight their way back. I need to go sleep in Germany. It's at 27 p.m. Tomorrow is school. Okay. Oh, that means German are only 1 hour ahead of us because it's 23:27 over here in Kampala, Uganda. Oh, beautiful header by Casemiro. Another day, another Casemiro goal. Another moment that he gets to connect with his captain. Good night to you, Xerox, as well. I will wish you all the best. And United have brought on Mbeumo and Diego Dalot. Leeds will dread all the missed chances. Amadou Diallo has been withdrawn. Leeds will only have themselves to blame for missing that many chances. Are you tomorrow live again? Every single day, we are live every single day, Monday to Sunday. In the morning at 9 a.m., that's usually relatively 8 something on your site. Then at night at 11 p.m. East African time, even though today we came a couple of minutes earlier. So, yeah. Okay, cool. I must see you. I must see if I can. All right. We'll be glad to see you around. Uh-oh. Now, that goal just gave United quite the boost that they needed. The sort of momentum that you would want, the kind of confidence to try and go for it, you know? And yeah, bye-bye. Uh-oh. Failed to clear. Leeds. I've always said that a team is most vulnerable when it is just conceded or when it has just scored. This time around, it is Leeds that are looking the most vulnerable because they've just conceded. And Manchester United know it. They smell blood. They want to go for the jugular. They want to go for the jugular. Okay. Is it not a little too early? Leeds are looking to make changes of their own. So for a second consecutive game, United have had a player sent off. Remember, in their last 2-all draw, it was Harry Maguire that was sent off for denying a goal scoring opportunity. So he was sent off. Carlos Queiroz's record at the World Cup is not good. He's managed teams through in 2002 to 2010 and 2014, as well as 2018 and 2022. 5 tournaments, 16 games managed, 4 wins, 4 draws, and 8 losses, 19 goals scored, and 19 conceded. Not good at all. Multiple reports suggesting that Arsenal's Christian Mosquera could be sent out on loan next season. However, the chances of that happening, I feel, will be very minimal, knowing how Mikel Arteta values his defenders. Besides, loaning him would simply mean that Arsenal have to go back in the market and sign a centre back. Why would you do that? Unless you're looking to sell. The game has seems to have gotten a bit of a calm at the moment. Leeds still not creating enough. They need that third goal more than ever before. There's a bombshell, according to Ndiakaila News, saying Newcastle have made a direct approach for Andoni Iraola. Insiders say a radical new direction is coming, and it looks Ed Howe could be out. This comes at a time when Newcastle bosses have expressed their continued support for Ed Howe, at least for now, until the end of the season, when they review the season as a whole and decide whether a change ought to be made. But things have not looked pretty for him. 14 losses thus far in the Premier League already this season. They're 12th on the Premier League log. Over the weekend, they lost late against Crystal Palace by 2-1. You know, Man United, here they come again. Uh-oh. Oh, Dominic Calvert-Lewin headed his attempt down straight to the goalkeeper in Seni Lomans, but it was a beautiful cross. It was a huge opportunity. It's not going to get a more free header than that. Uh-oh. Brandon Bomo. That was a very timely intervention. A very timely intervention. Meanwhile, Bad Verbruggen, according to Sky, Germany could leave Brighton and Hove this summer. There's increasing interest or inquiries on the table. Brighton are exploring the goalkeeper market and keeping various options under consideration. He's contracted until June 2028. That means in the summer he's going to have 2 years left for his current contract. Excuse me. Calodalo. With a beautiful and easy collection. So it stays 2-1. Have a feeling, and we still have a goal in this game, and it could come either way. Could go in the Manchester United side or on the Leeds side. I'm sure Leeds would love it to be the other way, and so would Manchester United. Manchester United are trying to play their way out of the back, but it's not working thus far. Every clearance is ending up on a Leeds player who are camped somewhere near the edge of the 18 yards box. Meanwhile, their last outing was in the FA Cup. They had a 2-0 lead against West Ham United, which they squandered in stoppage time. And it went 2-2 into extra time before they won on post-match penalties. This time around, there will be no penalties beyond the 90 minutes. Ah. Oh. Uh-oh. Man United, here they come. Brand Bomo winning himself a corner. You're not missing out much on that United Leeds game. Sean Longstaff is being ready to come on by Daniel Fakir. Oh, what a beautiful save from Calodalo. Benjamin Sesko with a powering header off Brian Mbeumo's cross. He knows. He knows. He should be scoring. But Carlo Dallo was the difference. Keeps that out to give Leeds another day in the fighting chance. Who is Pele? Pele, one of the greatest football players of all time. Uh-oh. Leeds are living dangerously as things stand. Here they come again on the counter-attack. Can they score? Oh, you overplayed that one. Jaden Bogo must be the most useless Leeds player tonight. He must be the most useless player there is tonight. That's not simulation. No, you just don't give the foul. Giving a yellow card, what did you want him to do? To run into the opponent? Really? Adas says Pele is still playing football. No. Pele is long gone. Long gone. Legend of the game. Sanjay says, hello, my brother. How are you? I'm good, Sanjay. Good to have you back. Always a pleasure to see you around. Kindly do me that usual absolute honor and like the broadcast, but it's always a pleasure to see you around. As you join us, we are following up on the updates from the Leeds versus United game. Sorry, Man United versus Leeds, and it's 2-1 in favor of Leeds at the moment. I'm good. My day has been all right. Got some work done. Did you have dinner? Yeah, already did. Had some Irish potatoes and some fried eggs. Now, let me ask, people from India, what's your relationship with eggs? You guys literally consume eggs in everything you eat, the same way you do spices or pepper. Dominic Calvert-Lewin may have missed lots of chances on the other side, but he's just saved Leeds United. He saved them with a header of a goal line clearance. Oh. You said delicious. What is it about Indians and eggs? Like when I watch those clips of Indians and street food, you'll see eggs in literally every meal. Either it's a bit of a French toast kind of meal that's fried eggs on the bun, or boiled eggs are chopped into what appears to be an egg salad. And, egg, yeah. You say San Diego Maradona is the best football player, one of the greatest of all times. Diego Armando Maradona. Oh. Jaden Bogo has been shambolic with Leeds' chances tonight. Should have done better to bury some of those chances away. Don't do it, Leeds. Do not try to play in your own half, especially at this stage of the game. The last thing you'd want is making a mistake. Keep it in the opponent's half. Play those long passes as much as you can. Switch wings. Do you like Carlos Braithwaite, the football player? Carlos Braithwaite? I'm familiar with Gerard Braithwaite and Matthew Braithwaite, who played for Barcelona at some point, even though it didn't really work out. I need to perhaps update myself on who Carlos Braithwaite is. I must acknowledge I do not know every single football player there is, because there's just too many of those, you know. But yeah, is he a football player or a cricket player? Sanjay says, if I say majority wise in, if I say majority wise, if I say majority wise, Indian street foods are vegetarian, but some are non-vegetarian. I do not understand what you are talking about. Omelette? Yeah, omelette. Omelette. You guys call it omelette, but eggs. I mean, eggs are eggs. You know, whether fried or boiled, it's just what it is. When you say they are vegetarian, I've seen street food involving a lot of chicken. So I've seen a lot of chicken. But you're right. There's also what appears to be a lot of vegetarians in the sense of it. Adash, the Carlos Braithwaite that I can find is believed to be a cricketer. I hope you meant Gerard Braithwaite of Everton. Have you ever tried Indian food? Indian food? Let me see. Is it Indian food or Pakistani food? Since you guys are neighbors and you share some of the recipes, I would qualify it for yes. If yes, then what was it? I had biryani, goat biryani. Yeah, one of the best rice meals I've ever had, by the way. Goat biryani. I remember the first time I had it, I just, you know, it was my stomach that got full, but my mouth was not tired of eating, you know. So that's what I had. Then I don't know if this is it Indian food? It's called naan, something like that. Naan. It's like a chapati or bread. Some people will call it bread. If yes, okay, I've given the experience. Butter chicken is a famous dish from India. Okay. Meanwhile, 7 minutes of added time were added on to after the 90 minutes. We've so far played 3 of those. Yes, it's naan bread. Yeah. That one. That one. But it's good. Like I like your guys' voice more than anything else. Kalodalo with a miskid ball. Manchester United pushing, continue to push for that equalizer. Will they get it? Is a question. Time is not on their side. Time isn't on their side. I don't know. I just have that sneaky feeling we could see some bit of late drama here. Matthias Cunha going verbative on the referee. He's already on a yellow card. Must tread his words carefully. Yes, biryani is Indian food, Pakistan food as well. Okay. How are you, Abed Dum? Abed Dumu joins us from South Africa, right? Hi, good to have you back on the channel, Abed. How have you been? How is your week so far? How was the weekend? I think I'm right to remember that you're from South Africa. Abed Doom. Uh-oh. Put out for a corner kick. Was that really offside? Yeah. It does appear like Carlos Casemiro veered offside. Do you like Lucas Garcia? Not that much. Yes, of course, bro. I'm doing good so far. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know that you're right. We are. We are headed for the final minute of the game. Leeds not too pleased with the referees. What are you watching? Leeds versus Man United. Sorry, Man United versus Leeds, and it's 2-1 in favor of Leeds. Both goals are in the opening half from Noah Okafor, while Casemiro pulled one back for Manchester United. And by the way, he scored his highest number of goals in the Premier League campaign. 7 goals, 2 assists already to his name this season. Do we get some drama here? Oh, Seni Lomans. Oh, it's game over. Manchester United 1, Leeds United 2. Michael Adrian Carrick has been condemned to his second defeat as Manchester United manager in his 11th game. Big victory for Leeds United. How they needed those 3 points. It's going to be very significant on the Premier League table. Those are going to be some really valuable points, because it means that they are 6 points above the relegation zone with 6 games to spare. It's not over, but for today, it is over. Leeds 2, Manchester United 1 from Old Trafford. What's your thoughts on Jonathan David as a football player? He's a good player, although he's not lived to the billing in as far as his Italian Serie A career is concerned. Jonathan David. He did leave Lille as a very good player, but things have not really worked out well for him at Juventus. They've not gone according to plan, because he scored only 5 goals and provided 3 assists in the Italian Serie A this season. He's been given the chances in terms of playing, but not much of it has come good. Sanjay says, did you have any sibling? If yes, then what do they do for a living? Oh, I do have siblings. One is a midwife, the other is a nurse, the other is a teacher, another is an interior designer, another is an IT profession, and the other is waiting to graduate from medical school. So, yeah, a good number of them, but that's what they do. But yeah, big victory there for Leeds United against Manchester United. 2 first half goals from Noah Okafor, enough to separate the 2 sides. Casemiro's goal in the second half was merely reduced to a consolation, and that's what has happened. So United, fortunately for them, due to a better goal difference, they will remain 3rd on the Premier League table standings. But that does put a bit of a dent in Michael Adrian Carrick's sort of report card in terms of aspiring for that permanent managerial role with Manchester United. So it's not the kind of result he would have wanted, more so being that it was a home game. I had not anticipated that they would lose, even though the Premier League is full or is never a short of its surprises. And I could easily say that tonight, this is one of those, really. Okay, bye, brother. See you later and have a good night. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for always sparing the time to keep us company on this channel. Thank you so much for the continued love and support. May God bless you in your respective endeavors. There, okay. Wow, they are great. Okay, nice to meet you, though. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, really. Okay, I don't think I missed a nice game. I bet, yeah, it's been a very, very nice game. Very end-to-end kind of football in the attacking sense of it. So beautiful to watch. Oh, you had asked what I was doing. I was keeping tabs on that game. Then, okay, I think I've responded to majority of the comments. For those of you that are just joining us, welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is my name. Please do like, consider liking the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel. If you wish to buy me a cup of coffee, I'd appreciate it. The mechanism is there, and just next to the comment section, where I see that dollar sign, whatever, however small it could be, it will be very, very much appreciated. So, and then also, guys, if you so wish to join as a member, be the first to become the Football Tribe UG member for purposes of supporting the channel, because they're not yours to eat, by the way. There's simply one criteria for membership. So you only pay about $2.5. So, and you become an esteemed, valuable member of this channel. That means your comments are always given priority. Your questions, will get to respond to them. You can also have suggestion topics for as long as they pertain football. So yeah. Okay, Adash says Jude Bellingham, in my opinion, is the best football player. What's your thought on this? Best football player at the moment, I wouldn't even put him in the top 5, not even in the top 10 this season. In as far as this season is concerned, I'd go with the likes of Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Luis Diaz, Michael Olise. I'd go with Anton Semenyo above him. I'd go with Declan Rice above him. I'd go with what's his name? I'm trying to remember. Yes, Federico Di Marco from Inter Milan. He's been a much better player. I'd go with Pedri ahead of him. Pedri from Barcelona. I'd go with Lamine Yamal ahead of him. So, I mean, Kivica Kvaratskhelia from PSG in the French League One. I think he's been a better player. So there's a lot of players that have been really, really good, much, much better than Jude Bellingham this season. In any case, even Adagula has been a better player this season. Only that he was much better under the charges of Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid, you know, in that sort of sense. So yeah. So for me, it wouldn't be Jude Bellingham. I wouldn't really put him in those sort of picks in case you're wondering. Okay. I think we've touched some of the topics. I've told you about Ed Howe. He does continue to receive full support at the moment from his bosses at Newcastle, even though there are reports that Newcastle are seeking to making direct contact with Andoni Iraola of AFC Bournemouth. Remember, his contract runs up at the end of the season. Earlier on, he was linked with a potential move to Athletic Bilbao, his former club, where he played more than 400 games, reached the finals of the UEFA Europa League in 2012 before they lost to Atletico de Madrid. That was Diego Simeone's Atletico de Madrid, which beat them by 3-0 in the final. I think it was Garcia and Randamel Falcao Garcia Zarate scoring in that final there back in the days. Then, like I told you, former Manchester United assistant manager Carlos Queiroz, or Carlos Queiroz, 73 years of age, has been appointed as the head coach of the Black Stars of Ghana. He's called Carlos Manuel Brito Lyle de Queiroz there. So he's managed different countries on the continent. He's managed South Africa before. He's managed Egypt, then also Qatar, Iran, Colombia, United Arab Emirates. So the Portuguese gaffer is quite an experienced man, even though he's not won much during his tenure. So, but yeah, he's the one that has been appointed to take on Ghana as things stand. So most recently, he was with Oman, so he leaves Oman to join Ghana. In 2023 to 2023 was with Qatar. In 2022 was with Iran. 2021 to 2022 was with Egypt. Had a stint with Colombia, Iran, Portugal. That was 2008 to 2010. At Manchester United between 2004 and 2008, he was there as an assistant. In fact, he was there on two different spells, 2002 to 2003, and then 2004 to 2008. Because for the 2003-2004 season, he left and joined Real Madrid. Then, of course, he's also previously managed the South African team that's in 2000 to 2002, teams like Sporting CP, some of the others he's managed, Nagoya Grampus in Japan, United Arab Emirates. So he's quite an experienced man, but a majority of people will remember him during his days at Manchester United. He was part of that team when they won the UEFA Champions League title. He was, I think, the assistant. He was a very, very valuable, trusted member of Sir Alex Ferguson's camp. So, so yeah. Anyways, allow me call it a night. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. Let's pick up. Oh no, actually, before we go, tomorrow action does return. Action does return tomorrow. In as far as the UEFA Champions League is concerned, Atletico de Madrid are going to be at home at the Riyadh Air Stadium or the Wanda Metropolitano against Barcelona. Then Liverpool will be at home against Paris Saint-Germain, while Arsenal against Sporting CP and Bayern Munich against Real Madrid will come on Wednesday. So that is what you should expect. In the Championship, Portsmouth will take on Ipswich, while Southampton will be up against Blackburn. Stefan Morris says, I'm back. Always a pleasure to see you around, Stefan Morris. Then in the Italian Serie A, Fiorentina beaten up against Lazio by a goal to nil, while Levante also managed to overcome Getafe by a goal to nil. And what happened to Manchester United right now? They've just lost to Leeds by 2-1. Both goals scored by Noah Okafor for Leeds United, while Casemiro scored his 7th goal of the campaign. But nonetheless, it only turned out to be a mere consolation. Meanwhile, Fiorentina are out of they are starting to see the future, because they are now comfortably above relegation, about I think about 8 points away from the relegation zone. So it's looking good for them. Leeds, but I do not really like either teams. I understand completely, if you do not like either team. But yeah, Leeds are continuing with their fight against relegation, and that result is as brilliant as you'd have it. Not many people would have envisioned that United would get beat, but the noisy neighbors have just been put quiet tonight by that Leeds United side. Of course, question marks are going to be raised on Michael Adrian Carrick, not because of this game per se particularly, but because of the result, like away to Bournemouth. Sorry, the last result against Bournemouth in the 2-2 draw. When you go back to their defeat against Newcastle, when you go back to their wanting performances against Fulham, even though they won that game by 3-2, and things like that. So, and then they won all draw against West Ham. Okay, do you know anything about Leyton Orient? Not really. Not really. Guys, as much as I follow football, I can only watch so much. I know Leyton Orient in the sense of those days those are the kinds of teams that you'd read offer the board if you want to place a bet, but it's not a team that I follow routinely, in a way. And yeah, that's all I can say about them, Leyton Orient. Anyways, so then Levante, in terms of the implications of that result, also it means they go to 29 points. They still have a chance to survive relegation. That's if they can fight their way through at the expense of teams like Elche and Deportivo Alaves, with Sevilla, who beat up against Atletico de Madrid over the weekend by 2-1 to try and see if they can survive the knife. But Sevilla have really, really struggled in recent times. They've really, really struggled in recent times. Okay. We have been fighting relegation recently. Okay. Wish you the best of luck in that fight against relegation. So, guys, why don't you allow me call it a wrap? It's been 1 hour and 18 minutes nearly of doing this with you in League One. Wow. So you can imagine. So that means if you get relegated, you go to League 2. Jesus Christ. And if you get relegated from League 2, where does it end for you? The North Conference, South Conference, Wrexham were in the trenches, and now look at where they are. They're pushing for, promotion. We lost the playoffs last season. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So Stefan Morris, people like Adash, people like Sanjay, people like Abed, people like what's his name? Xerox. Thank you so much for always choosing to keep us company on the Football Tribe UG channel. It's always a pleasure to see you around. Thank you for supporting this channel. Your kind contribution, your time, your invaluable support is not taken for granted. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. Oh, Kylian Mbappe is the best player this decade. Oh, when you say this decade, really? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Kylian Mbappe, the best player this decade. Maybe. I don't know. But you could be right. You could be right in terms of consistency. He's been one of the best there is in terms of consistency. So we should be in the championship, and we got to the playoffs final and lost to Charlton. Oh, Charlton Athletic. Jesus Christ. That's where Darren Benty used to play. Wow. It's been so long a time that Charlton Athletic played in the Premier League. I remember Thierry Henry back in October 2002. No, was it October 2002, 2002 or 2003 or 4? Thereabout. He scored the back heel against them. Okay. I think 2004. You know? Okay, guys. Also, our best player left and joined a Charlton the next day after the game. Reminds me of is a player that left Sunderland to join Brighton at Hove Albion after the playoff final. He even scored in the playoff final against Sheffield United as Sunderland won it by 2-1. I forget his name. But yeah, that's the nature of the sport. That's the nature of the sport. Players come and go. Teams or institutions or clubs stay. You know. Pedri says, let's buy you some coffee. I'd appreciate it. Pedri, how are you, Pedri? You've joined us late. How have you been? Tell me, are you fired up for tomorrow? Are you optimistic? Are you nervous? Are you eager? What's the sort of mood? What's the feeling among the Barcelona's Alcatraz? Is that how they are called? Or they are called Ultras? Forgive me if I've used the wrong term in reference to Barcelona fans. What's the mood like amongst Barcelona fans ahead of that fixture against Atletico de Madrid? We know that Atletico de Madrid is not an easy opponent, but that fixture is going to be very, very crucial tomorrow. We know the importance of it or the significance of it, and what it would mean to Hansi Flick's season, especially knowing that the Spanish La Liga title, he's already having one grip to the Spanish La Liga title because the rate at which Real Madrid are slipping away, following their defeat to Rayo Mallorca, following their 1-1 draw against Girona over the weekend, that was last week on Friday. Things are looking much cleaner for them in the Spanish La Liga. So what's the mood like? Okay, you say we are now 15th, right now, 2 points up from relegation. Okay, that's good to know. Stefan Morris, I can only wish you the best of luck in your endeavors while with Leighton Orient. Only if Barcelona win tomorrow and qualify. Jesus Christ. I have zero control over the conditions of that. Let's go, Baka. Okay, nervous, but I know my Baka boys can do it. Does anyone here play FC Mobile? I, for one, do not play FC Mobile. So let the others speak for themselves. Maybe Pedri. Our fans are very optimistic, and the players too. They are all talking about the remontada non-stop. Today, I did hear some reports that Rafinha is back in training. Is that the case? And Hansi Flick was being criticized for playing Lamine Yamal for 90 minutes against Espanyol over the weekend when he has a very crucial fixture upcoming. And when he was asked about it, he said maybe he doesn't get to start the game. I mean, I've seen Frankie de Jong is back. Will be a very valuable member in that midfield because I think on any given day, Hansi Flick is going to prefer Frankie de Jong to the likes of Marc Casado. Okay. Then Stefan Morris says 1 point. Okay, 1 point was 2 points in relegation, then 9 points from relegation, which was only 4 from playoffs, and now we are near the relegation again. Oh, that's a very uncomfortable place to be in. Are you live tomorrow? Every single day, Monday to Sunday. Now, usually this is our schedule. Obviously, sometimes it may change depending on unavoidable circumstances, but routinely we do come live every single day, Monday to Saturday. Now, between Monday to Friday, we start usually between 9:30 on thereabouts, and then on Saturday around 10 a.m. That's when we do our morning live. On Sunday, we have no live broadcast in the morning. Then every single day at 11 p.m. That's Monday to Thursday. On Friday, we come early at about 9 p.m. Then on Saturday at 11 p.m. as well as Sunday, we are always live. So, okay. Raymond Kangumba says, hi, enough for Ed Howe. Ed Howe sacked from Newcastle and Zabi Alonso be appointed. When it comes to Newcastle, we spoke about Newcastle earlier on in this podcast, that according to The Athletic, they say that Newcastle's bosses will continue to back Ed Howe until the end of the season, and then the situation will be assessed in the summer. There has not been any indication from David Hopkins that Newcastle will be seeking to make a managerial change as of now. However, they have emerged reports coming in from the UK suggesting that Newcastle could target or could go after Andoni Iraola of AFC Bournemouth as their preferred candidate should they choose to make a change in their managerial stance. So that is what is happening. And then we also discuss about Newcastle's situation regarding to Bayern Munich's interest in Antony Gordon. The player is aware. Apparently, talks have taken between intermediaries, although club-to-club conversations are yet to be held. We're talking about an Antony Gordon who has attracted interest from the likes of Liverpool as well as Arsenal back in the summer of 2024. So we'll have to wait and see what happens for the 25-year-old England international. He is preferred as the backup left winger for Bayern Munich, who have had it very successful with Luis Diaz. I was mentioning earlier on that Bayern Munich have been really, really successful with their signings from the Premier League, starting with Hurricane about 3 seasons ago, Ekdaya, Michael Olise, Luis Diaz. Look at what he's been able to do recently. Really, really beautiful. Okay, let's move on. Good. Stefan says, good, you're live tomorrow because Leyton Orient is playing tomorrow night. All right, we'll endeavor to, I'm sure you'll come back and give us some updates because to be honest with you, our focus is going to be primarily on the UEFA Champions League, where Barcelona will be playing away against Atletico, while Liverpool will be at home against Paris Saint-Germain. So Stefan Morris, please, if you can, please make it a point to join us tomorrow night and give us those updates about Leyton Orient. Pedro says, yes, so what Atletico, when Atletico rested all its players, this might be bad because their players lack the rhythm for the match. It could be a bit of a double-edged sword. The reason as to why I think that I don't think it's really, really about rhythm, especially given that they've been playing recently. The one thing I can say is that sometimes managers rest players and then they lose that game during which they have rested players, and then they also lose the game for which they rested those players for. So it's not a guarantee that when you rest players, you're going to win the tie. It's never a guarantee in that sort of sense. So anything can still happen, anything can still happen. And we'll be hoping that things go perhaps according to plan for those, depending on how both teams have prepared themselves. Okay. Who are you supporting for the World Cup? Okay. Oh, sorry. For the World Cup, I'll be supporting Brazil since the Uganda Cranes did not make it. Always Brazil. And then if they are eliminated, the rest of it, I'm just enjoying the football. Raymond said Ed Howe should be sacked from Newcastle. I think that was a repetition of the same comments. Raymond Kangumba, did you just say Ed Howe? Bro, doesn't even know what he's talking about. Okay. It will be Mansfield, which is 13th. Okay. Stefan Morris, we wish you the best of luck for your Leyton Orient as you go through tomorrow's game. Donald Trump could be the best football player of 2026. He's the best self-goal scorer of all time. He knows how to beat his own team. Let me not indulge you guys with the politics. Okay, bro, respectfully, no one cares about Leyton Orient. I know so. It doesn't matter. Pedri, be kind. Leyton Orient is a team. Okay. Hi, the board of Newcastle today How are you, Ed House? Okay. Again, you're asking the board to sack a bro, ban this Raymond guy. What the hell is he? Is he a robot? I do not know. I do not know. But oftentimes his comment is the same. Stop talking about Ed Howe. I think I'm. I think. Oh, you're telling him to stop talking about Ed Howe. I've previously talked about his obsession with Ed Howe, and that's because you made the inference. But anyways, guys, I will be back tomorrow to digest what we expect from the UEFA Champions League tomorrow morning. So we are looking forward to that bit of action. It does promise to be very, very entertaining. Barcelona have it all to lose, just as much as Atletico de Madrid. PSG on the other side is the same story, as well as Liverpool, who will take the more risks, who will be the bigger team. We'll see who will stand out, because when it comes to the UEFA Champions League, by the way, at this knockout stage, it's about who takes their moments. It's about sometimes players standing out to play better than anybody else, to be the star of the moment, and then win a game of football and then march on to the next stage of the competition. So basically, that is what will it be. Who are Liverpool going to trust? Is it going to be Mo Salah? Is it going to be Florian Wirtz? Is it going to be Hugo Ekitike that will decide the encounter? Is it going to be Dominic Szoboszlai? We just have to wait and see. For Barcelona, I saw Lamine Yamal extending the invitation that if it is the plan of Atletico de Madrid to go 1v1 in terms of man marking, then he's welcoming the idea. The one thing I know about Lamine Yamal is that if you do not want to be punished, do not give him space. Before he receives the ball, you must be there to receive with him. The moment you give him the space, he is going to terrorize you, just like he did against Inter Milan in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League last season. Okay. Stefan says the 3 games after that is quite easy, which is the last 3 games of the season. Okay. I mean, usually games may appear easy on paper until you actually have to play them. Okay, interesting fact. There's only 5-point difference between 10th and 18th place in La Liga. Wow. In La Liga. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Predict tomorrow's games. Wow. Tomorrow's games. Barcelona, Atletico de Madrid. Barcelona win, but do not go through. I see Barcelona winning, but not going through. Barcelona 2-1. Then Liverpool PSG, a 2-2 draw could suffice. Yeah, those are my predictions for now. If we wake up and I've changed my mind, or the circumstances have shifted, Barcelona wins 3-0. That's according to Stefan. I hope. Okay. Yes, Stefan, my boy. I am a bit nervous. It feels like a final for me tomorrow. I mean, aren't we always for the teams that we support? You see, that's the thing about football. Before the game is played, you're all nervous when it is ongoing. Sometimes even when it finishes, you hope the clocks would be rewound and sort of time travel backwards, so to sort of take you back to a particular moment in time before the game is started. Especially when the result doesn't go your way, you hope that perhaps you are dreaming that you could, I remember the very first introductory video I did of this channel, it had a simple script, and I remember I struggled with the microphones at the time, but it read like this. Hi there. Welcome to the world of football, where the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat come together. So football is like that. It's where the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat come together. It just simply depends on what side of the aisle that you fall on a given day. Okay. Okay, good. Barcelona is my second team. If we win tomorrow, I'll watch Leyton Orient this weekend. That's Pedri. Okay, then and if we qualify, I'm getting Mr. Tribe 4 coffees. You know, you had bet on yourself that if Atletico de Madrid knock you out, it will be 10 coffees. Wow. Anyways, whichever way it slices, I'll welcome the coffee. If Barcelona go through, I simply wish you guys the best of luck. I've seen Hansi Flick apparently complaining about the turf to UEFA officials. I'm yet to ascertain exactly what he was complaining about, but he's not pleased about something to do with the turf on which they will be playing. Because I really like Rafinha. Yes, Pedro, I was asking you, is Rafinha back in training? Could he make it maybe to the matchday squad? That's why he should hope we win tomorrow. He is probably my favorite. Yes, Prime Yamal and Rafinha will come tomorrow. Hopefully, I wish Rafinha could make it, but he can't. I know, because you see, the thing about those injuries is that whereas you can risk him in tomorrow's game to play, he won't look 100% fit, even if he plays on an injection. Then the other two is what you risk, because you could go through and risk losing him for the remainder of the season, and possibly cost him the World Cup. Like we know for a fact that Christian Romero has torn part of his anterior cruciate ligament. Is it cruciate ligament? And he will be out for at least 8 weeks, according to multiple reports. So, I mean, we just have to wait and see, how things will be for him. Okay, it will be a very big risk. Yeah, indeed. Lewandowski will I think, all right. Lewandowski needs to turn up and show. We are also going through an injury crisis right now. I mean, that's very common at the tail end of the season when players have played so many games. There's a bit of cumulative. There's a bit of a cumulative a fatigue element to it. Players have been picking up on knocks here and there. Players that have been playing through injury sometimes can no longer sort of carry on with those injuries. Minor issues that may define sort of the way things are going. So yeah, according to Sami Mokpel of BBC Sport, he says Tottenham captain Christian Romero will miss the remainder of the season with a partial tear of his medial cruciate ligaments. Therefore, expected recovery time around 8 weeks, leaving his World Cup hopes in balance. That was according to Sami Mokpel of BBC Sport. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspurs are in advanced talks over free transfer and Robertson this summer. Any deal is contingent on Spurs staying in the Premier League. So that's the other update regarding there. So we'll have to wait and see how things go. Guys. Okay. We are also, okay, you say we had one of our best players out for 2 years with ACL. That anterior cruciate ligament injury is a very, very terrible injury to have. By Mr. Tribe, by Pedri, So that's a terrible injury to have. An ACL, yeah, Eder Militao has suffered those. Gabriel Jesus, Danny Carvajal, I think Thibaut Courtois also suffered one. Nicole Zaniolo, Pellegrini have all suffered those kinds of injuries, etc., etc. Anyways, guys, allow me to wish you a blessed night. Let's link up again tomorrow. It's been 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for the continued love and support. Keep it locked on the Football Tribe UG channel and help me keep growing on this forum, on this community. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye. Until tomorrow. Stay blessed. And may God bless you as hopefully we see each other tomorrow morning.